There they go into the back. The blue line on. We have a race, and Satnova's beaten Pure Steel out by a length and a half.
Welcome to Talking Trots, hosted by Morts and Michael Radley on Tab Radio, Racing and Sport.
The sensational Sydney sider, Seals to Sam, comes off the back straight. He's a bucket load of alliteration, this fellow.
Scott Bomber Hill will join the boys to look at the Friday night meeting at Gloucester Park.
Here comes Quinny. I'm the mighty Queen is 4 deep and letting go.
Sit back and enjoy Talking Trots with Morts and Michael Radley.
I'm the mighty Queen is just in front. Dasher VC can do no more. And the West Australian champion has done it again.
Yes, hello and welcome to another big edition of Talking Trots, and we've got a very special guest this week. Kim Prentice is going to join us on the line. He's got a couple of really interesting runners on Friday night, and a good night's racing again this Friday night, and the feature race is the Group 3 Kerry Clark for the fillies and mares worth $50,000. Kimmy has Soho Seraphine first up, but a couple of first up in there as well. Waterloo's first up. And Artie by the Seaside, who is in great form at the moment, won 3 on end. She's up against Penny Black, and a really, really good lineup of mares this Friday night for the Kerry Clark. It's time to welcome to the program Glen Mortimer. Almost said Glen Moore.
Glen Moore.
in the Retrovision shirt. How are you, Morts?
Evening, Michael. Great to be back with you for another episode of Talking Trots. They keep inviting us back, Michael.
Only
Only just. But no, good to be back. Bomber had a good night last Friday night, plus 4 units. Ollie had a tough one with just the one winner from around the country. But some very good racing at Gloucester Park last Friday night, as always, and a big card coming up this Friday night with, of course, the Kerry Clark. But last Friday night, there were some really good winners. Blaze On was always going to be hard to beat once he found the front, and a very nice run first up for Louis Dior. A Kushla Marie for our man Hayden King got up to score. 3 wide early with cover, but went on well to score from the breeze for Hayden. So some nice runs behind the winner as well. Have You Met Ted got away with a bit early and posted a strong win in the end for Brett Smith. And of course, Rolling Fire sustained a long run to get up and score over Soho Moonraker. Very good run. Now, Joey James was very, very heavily tipped by our man Hayden King.
Yep.
He, on course as well as before we left, started at $9.50 and scored thanks to a very good drive by Kyle Harper. Skipper Beat, well driven by Chris Folk, scored a good win for the Barry Howlett stable, and El Maestro rounded out the card, Michael.
Very nice.
Very, very smart horse.
Yeah, very nice horse. He's got a lot of class about him. You can find a 2-year-old Robbie Williams and does a good job with them. He
certainly can, and the thing with this horse is he's obviously got a lot of learning to do, but he looks a really nice type.
Yeah,
really good.
By Lather Up. And good to see Michael Young's 2-year-olds have obviously come back, ceased to react and butter me up. But interesting to see these good 2-year-olds coming back that we saw early in the season. Ryan Bell trialled a couple yesterday, including Fearless Storm, who ran 4th in the Sales Classic. So I'm sure we're going to see a lot more of these 2-year-olds trialling and racing in the next month.
Should be a great... Should be some great events for the 2-year-olds coming up, because there are some very nice 2-year-olds.
Obviously, the Pearl and the Diamond are the first to kick off in August.
And then we've got the Westbred.
The Westbred in September and obviously the Golden Slipper. But they're really exciting, these 2-year-olds.
Certainly are.
And coming back.
That one on Friday night, El Maestro.
Very good.
Very, very impressive.
I keep on thinking Al Maestro when I hear the name, but
nice. No, El Maestro did round out the card. Yeah. Very, very impressive for Robbie Williams. So Friday night at Gloucester Park was a training treble for the very powerful Michael Young stable. He must be putting a bit of a gap on the rest of the field now, Michael.
Yeah, no, he's still heading up. We mentioned last week that he'd probably increase his lead, and
he did. He got a training treble, driving treble to Gary Hall Jr. and a driving double to Kyle Harper. Couple of very clever drives by Kyle on Friday night.
Driving really well.
Yep, and he drove Joey James, who Hayden said would probably get out and get to the front. Otherwise, going to be 3 fence, but I don't like it as much 3 fence. He got 3 fence and great drive.
We love him 3 fence.
Oh. But no, great drive by Kyle.
Yeah.
Really, really good. Friday night, also at Northam, training double to Peter Anderson, Clinton Pierce and Lang Inwood, and a driving double to your man Aldo Cortopassi, and a driving double to my man Trent Wheeler, and a driving double to Abby Vidovich. Clocking up some winners too, Michael.
Yeah, good to see these young drivers getting opportunity.
Certainly is. Saturday night at Narrogin, a big duck egg, there was nothing. Monday out at Pinjarra, a training double to Gemma Heyman and Aidan DeCampo, and a driving double to Emily Savelko and Aidan DeCampo. Tuesday at Gloucester Park, a driving double to Lachlan Kennelly and a driving double to Abby Vidovich again. So some of these junior drivers doing very, very well. Good to see.
Yeah,
but it was a big week of harness racing, Michael. Of course, we had Albion Park, so there was lots to talk about, which we will later in the show. So.
Yeah, and those horses, Luke McCarthy going up there en masse this week, kicking off his carnival. We get to see Steno going around against I Keep Smiling.
Yeah, I Smiling, yep.
And Don Hugo won last Saturday night at Menangle.
Very impressively.
I think he goes straight into the Inter-Dominion now. I don't think he'll
July 5, I think.
I don't think he'll. His owner, Tony LaCastro, was over for the State of Origin. Ran into him at a function on Tuesday night.
Right, okay.
Yeah, it's good to see him. Good to see him come over. So a lot of people came over for the State of Origin.
Yeah, big crowd.
Yeah,
good game.
Not the right result, but good game.
Blues had their chances, didn't convert.
Yeah. The first half, was just. And the penalty count was against us, but we couldn't make up the ground in the end.
Good game considering.
Volandis will be happy.
Look, it was
there's a decider.
Yeah, of course. Well, I mean, we all are, but I would have loved to have seen the Blues win. But a very good game and good scoreline considering the conditions.
Yeah, and the ground actually stood really well. And game on over there tonight as well. So
because they had 2 games in the weekend.
Yep.
The game on Wednesday night, and the Bombers there tonight against Fremantle.
Yeah,
so
it's got plenty of, but it actually started really well. Like it was really good considering because it rained. It was heavy at different times of the game.
It poured down, but it was really good, and the standard and the scoreline was great. And now we go to New South Wales for the decider. So looking forward to that.
Yeah, indeed we are. All right, just on Michael Young. In the state premiership, 68 wins from 193 starters. What a strike rate as well. Ahead of Aidan DeCampo on 46, Team Bond on 39. And in the Metro, he leads with 34 from 121. Team Bond in second on 26, Senior on third with 23, Aidan DeCampo 19.
Got a nice little buffer there over Team Bond.
Yep. And 600,000 in stakes. Bond and Senior, Bond just over the million. Senior just over the million. Bond just under the Team Bond just under the million. Obviously, they won the big races through the carnival. So, but going really well. Michael must love this new handicapping system.
I think he does. He's working it very well, and good luck to him. And they're all going well for him, and he's had Junior and Emily driving, and they're in Joey Savelko. They're in such good form,
aren't they?
I was looking at something the other day, and you look at the Savelko name in our industry. It's almost like a dynasty. You've got Shannon, Emily, Joey, Callum,
and it's not unusual for. Particularly some of those Sunday meetings for him to drive virtually the cart.
I know, it's incredible. And, if I missed one of them out, I apologise, but there's just so many, and just one of the most successful surnames in harness racing that I can think of.
Yeah, and going extremely well at the moment.
Great job.
Yeah. Tell you who's going well at the moment, Kim Prentice.
He certainly is.
Driving a few, double about a week or so ago at Pinjarra, and he brings 4 or 5 to Gloucester Park tomorrow night.
And some interesting runners amongst them.
Yeah.
If you look at the prices, some of them are really good each way odds.
And they're exactly. And they're horses that very rarely out of the money as well. So, including Jimmy Rocks, who was part of that double about a week and a half ago at Pinjarra. He comes to Gloucester Park tomorrow night in a 60 to 80 ratings race. He's currently $14 on Tab Touch, but let's go back about a week and a half ago to Pinjarra, and here's Jimmy Rocks getting the job done.
Wave back on the pegs. Tasha's Spartan, Jimmy Rocks, Class and Smart fights on. Watch Me Wave the sprint lane. Dat Lovely behind them. Sid Strepo wider out. Jimmy Rocks now gets the upper hand on Tasha's Spartan. Sid Strepo late. Dat Lovely coming through, but Jimmy Rocks gets there. First up, Jimmy Rocks from either Sid Strepo or Dat Lovely with Tasha's Spartan in a line. I'm Grafter, Class and Smart.
And Jimmy Rocks' trainer Kim Prentice joins us on the line. Kim, welcome to the program.
Good morning. Good afternoon, boys. Sorry, I'm used to saying morning. Good afternoon.
That's all right.
Good morning. You haven't been to the pub yet, Kim, so... Jeez, could be in trouble.
How are things?
Yeah, very good, mate. Very good.
Very good. Now, Jimmy Rocks is one of a number of runners you're bringing to Gloucester Park tomorrow night, but he's going along not very nicely, Jimmy Rocks. A good winner first up.
Yeah, look, it was one of those races, I knew he was going to draw bad, but on paper it didn't look overly strong. And first up over a mile, he's a little horse that doesn't do anything at home. You'd think working him at home, he'd never win a race, but when he goes to races, he turns into a little racehorse. And he's only a cheap buy, and everybody loves him around the stables.
He's been a very good horse, and a couple of very good friends of mine are part owners in that one, in Clive Berryman and Gary Dickey. I do worry about the company you keep sometimes, Kim, with Gary Dickey, but they're terrific blokes, and that's an interesting race. And like Michael said, he went really well first up, but you don't have the best of draws. There's a lot of last start winners in this race as well, so I think there's about 4 or 5 last start winners. Interesting field. Where do we get to from out there in Barrier 6?
Yeah, I think we've got to. We'll just go forward out the gate. I can see the odds on favourite. Mickey's Pride. That will lead. It went really good first up on Tuesday, so we'll move forward out the gate and hopefully get a good spot. He may be in the breeze for a little bit, but hopefully then we get cover. And if they run it as an honours horse race, he'll be. Hopefully he can fill one of the minor placings.
Yeah, I think there's a few you've got in tomorrow night, Kim, which can certainly fill placings. And the first one you got coming up is in race 2. Once again, Nathan Berryman, a very good owner and very good friend of mine as well, as part of that ownership. And he's been a terrific horse, crowd control. He's had 46 starts, and he's been placed or won on 32 occasions. So been a really nice horse for you, Kim.
Yeah, he has been, Glenn. He's been, a bit of a headache behind the scenes, but, he's been a very, very honest horse. And tomorrow night he's going to have to be, but I can see it being run as a real good horse race. So, from there we'll just have to go back and hope they run a little bit upside down. And second up, we don't want to hurt him too much. So as long as he hits the line, and we'll be happy.
He's probably been underestimated. Like looking at his career, he's won over 150,000 now from only the 46 starts. But he probably gets a bit lost because he came through such a strong year, Kim. That the year that he came through was never ending, and Mr. Smarties in that year, and it's one of the stronger years that we've had in a racing, and he was probably just below them, but he's gone about his business. To win 150,000 is a great result.
Yeah, he had the bonuses, and it gets pretty close to 200,000. Yeah. So for a cheap horse at the sale, and it was just so good for Nathan to be able to put him into the horse. I made sure he was trialling along well, and then I asked Nathan if he wanted to come in with him, and he watched him trial, and it's been a really good ride. Like you say, it was a really, really tough year, and he's just been really genuine all the way through.
It's not often you get a chance to buy a young horse after it's actually trialled.
No.
Geez, that'd be a good concept. Can they bring that in very soon? So he was extremely lucky. But first up, ran a nice third. That was a good field. Bricky's Dream and Golden Load was in there. Went very well. Just like you say, with the barrier doesn't make it easy, but have to be an each way chance, Kim.
Yeah, look, first up, he come in with his deafeners in. They ran home 55-2, and Mitch said he was still travelling real good. So he's worked on really good since then. But, I can see it's Louis Dubois in front, and, Youngie's horse is going to be outside of him. And if they leave the one alone, he'll beat them all for speed. So I think there's going to be a fair bit of pressure on in the race. And if we're sitting back, that will suit us. And hopefully he can hit the line really good.
And of course, you get another great draw in barrier in race number 4 with Franco Ecuador, drawn barrier 8. But he was really good first up. Just a tough draw in a nice field. But we know he's very talented. He's I think he's a rising 8-year-old now. But he's had a good career, albeit with a fair bit of injury. But good first up. How do you see him going in this, Kim?
Yeah, I was ecstatic with him first up, mate. I knew he's going to draw bad, and he was last going off the back, and he's flown home and ran 4th. And Stewie said he just felt really, really good. He's trained on really good. This race, knew he had to draw bad, but it's a pretty even race, so we're going to have to drive him quiet again. But if they run it, hopefully a little bit upside down, he'll be finishing off really good.
Yeah, another one that's certainly got to be an each-way chance. And then you finally get a good draw, and it's in one of the hardest races of the night, the Kerry Clark. It's a really good field. Soho Seraphine, nice draw. Once again, it depends how this race is run, but at the price, got to be a really nice each-way chance at the price.
Yeah, look, I'm glad we drew that barrier. She might be able to keep up, mate, because it's a cracker of a field.
Yeah.
But look, she's done plenty of work behind the scenes, and she's getting older now and more cunning. And as long as she's following the helmet, she'll go all day. So I'm expecting her to be able to hang in there, and hopefully she can run 3rd or 4th. Some of those fillies and mares are top notch. So first up, it's going to be a bit of an ask, but I think she's forward enough to run a nice race.
Yeah. So who do you think? Tell you what, it's a pretty tough night, but you've got chances. Who do you think your best chance to maybe run into the money?
I would have to say Little Jimmy Rocks, mate.
Yep.
Oh, Dickie will be happy, and so will Clive. No, that's good. As we said, some very even races tomorrow night. Actually, when you look through the card, there's not a great deal of shorties in there, and some good fields. And you've got a couple of tough draws to contend with there, Kim. Kim, just your thoughts on the new handicapping system. How's that coming along in your eyes?
Next question, Glenn.
Okay, I only prepared one because
do you want me to ask you a bit?
It's a tough one, mate. Like, obviously, some weeks you go there and you're going to draw pretty good, but it's really hard. Like I was just looking a minute ago, Cordero's won 16 races and 300,000, and he's on 68 points. Where I've got a 3-year-old at home that I've wanted to start for the last 3 weeks and I can't. He's had 7 starts and he's on 79 points. So it makes it really, really tough. For definitely advantages the older has-been horses. I'm not saying Cordero's has been by any means, but it's very hard on the young horses coming through. And obviously, over the years we've always brought heavily at the sales and all that, and it does make it that little bit, well, not a little bit tougher. It does make it a lot tougher. But look, as long as the turnover's improving and getting better, and that's what it's all there for. Well, if that's working, well, that's great for us. But if it's not working, it's there, and we just got to deal with it.
Yeah, and I guess time will tell. They're making some changes on the run in terms of programming and things like that. So hopefully we'll continue to see it evolve and get to a stage where we're comfortable with it, and more importantly, turnover is up. But you look at some of the prices there tomorrow night. They're some very open fields, and I'm not so sure, Michael, that's the best thing for wagering. But
there's definitely a sweet spot for favourites that we want. And if it's $2, like $4, $5 a field, then that goes the other way. It's poor for wagering. So you want that market leader. Yeah. Somewhere in the, even money to sort of 6 to 4 is the sweet spot, even like $1.70.
Yeah.
But that's
anywhere between $1.80 and $2.20. I think it's the sweet spot. Yeah. And look, 1 week it will advantage you, and next week it won't. So this week, with crowd control and Franco Ecuador, they're not going to get hurt. If they earn, great. And then hopefully next week they can go into a race where they can draw a bit better.
Do you have any babies getting set for the... Sorry.
I was just about to ask him. That's okay, Mike.
Brilliant minds think alike, Morts. Do you have any babies getting set for the 2-year-old features coming up, the Pearl, Diamond or Westbred?
Not really. I had a 2-year-old. He only cost me $10,000 at the sales, and he won really well at Pinjarra on Monday, faced the breeze, and they ran 57, and he'll improve a great deal on that. So he's the only really one. Haven't got that many young ones there, but hopefully he can do a job and earn a bit. So that'll be good.
And Kim, you bought a few earlier on in the year at the sales, a Captain Crunch filly, Hurstville, Huntsville filly, and a Soho Tribeca filly. How did they break in?
Yeah, had the full brother to the Tribeca filly that we brought, and he was a bit of a slow learner early, but he ended up winning the race as a 2-year-old, and he will definitely win races as a 3-year-old. And Dean said the same thing. She couldn't really pace that well, but now in the second prep, she's free-legging and doing everything right. The Huntsville is a beautiful, big, strong filly, so hopefully she'll be ready to rock and roll in the early races when they come about. But I'm more looking forward to the ones we got this year than the previous year.
Oh, very good.
And it was good that Rob Watson was there and sold a few, and was at the table sort of next to us. Yeah. But it's good to have Rob support.
Yeah, he's got, I don't think he's going to sell any this year. We've only got 3 foals for him this year, but he's got 7 mares in foal here in West Australia, so it's really good.
Yeah, that is good. So hopefully we get to see a few more of the Sohos go around and winning races here in the West.
Absolutely.
Yep. Well, you got a real nice one, my favourite one, Glenn, so I hope it does the right thing.
Yeah, Soho Whisper.
Yeah, Soho Whisper.
Out of Soho Whisper.
Was delighted with that, and syndicated virtually overnight.
Yeah.
Virtually overnight. It was great. So, looking forward to...
He was a lovely looking colt.
Yeah, certainly was. certainly is. So, looking forward to him coming along.
He doesn't have much luck, Kim, this Morts, does he? Like,
No, that's why they call him Group 1 Morts.
Yeah.
That's why.
I'm tipping when Rob sold him, he looked across and saw Morts and went, "You beauty."
Listen, Kim, I do have to blame my horse ownership to Clive Berryman, who we spoke about earlier on, and lucky enough to buy into a share with a horse with Clive that you trained a horse by the name of Absolutely Ruthless. Don't know if you remember that one. Yes. Yes, she actually beat Sand Pebbles one night, and Sand Pebbles went on and raced in a Miracle Mile. So, trust me, ours wasn't quick enough to keep up with the mobile on a Miracle Mile, but it was a lot of fun, and been a lot of fun along the way, and that's why I mentioned Clive earlier on. He's had some horses and a bit of fun, so that's what it's all about.
Sure is.
That's why we got Nathan in, because we had a mare that wasn't much good, and you want to keep the young guys in the sport, so I normally wouldn't do what I did, but for Nathan, I really thought I want young guys in the sport come along, and so I wanted to make sure it was good enough for him to be in. So it's all good.
And they get along and follow him. They actually come to the track and watch him, which is good.
Yeah, no, true.
Yeah. Now Clive's moved up to Nathan. Nathan's got a young family now, so no, there's no excuses for Clive not to be there now.
Yeah, exactly. No, they're lovely people, and good to have them involved in harness racing.
Not a problem, boys.
Thanks, Kimmy. Thanks for your time. Good luck tomorrow night. We'll see you at the track.
Thanks, guys.
There we go, Kim Prentice. Does a good job, Kimmy. We didn't congratulate him on the Balti Eagle going into the Hall of Fame earlier this year. Well, what a wonderful tribute to him, and how good did Kim take him through, like to win in New Zealand, which is so hard to do.
He did very, very well. One thing that Kim's been able to do over the years is you look at some of the horses he's purchased from the sales. They're not, some of them aren't expensive.
No.
And he gets them up and gets them going and winning. So he's, I think it's just a trait with the whole Prentice family, isn't it? They're all pretty good at picking out horses.
Yeah.
So
great eye.
Yes, certainly is.
Yeah, indeed. Now, what's this segment? Was brought to us by Steel Blue Boots, built for comfort, made for work. Well over 700 stockists nationwide, and our main man Ross Fitzgerald's back in town.
I believe so.
Yeah.
But Steel Blue Boots, they are a mark of true skill, which Michael, designed for comfort, durability, and choice.
Glad I had them on yesterday.
You would have needed them.
Going across the bridge.
Yep.
In the wet. I knew I'd get across there.
Yeah. You're always going to get across. I think didn't you climb the bridge in a pair of Steel Blues?
I think I did, yes.
And Nicole did as
yes,
well, I
yes,
think.
Indeed.
So they are designed for comfort, durability and choice, backed by a 30-day 100% comfort guarantee. They certainly are your boot of choice.
They are. They are the best work boots. If you need a work boot, Steel Blue are the ones. And as I said, 700 stockist nation, and only the best stockist as well.
Yes.
They don't let anyone sell them.
They don't go to Bunnings.
No,
or places.
they don't let anyone sell them.
And they're bringing out a range of, the more casual type look, so you can, rather than turning up for dinner looking like a tradie, you can turn up with some really nice, good footwear. So that range is just coming out. I think there might even be one called the Fitzy.
Well, he was talking it up.
Yeah.
He was talking it up that he was gonna. There was a Fitzy boot.
Yeah,
indeed. All right. Any other news, Mort, you want to discuss before we go to the break?
It was good to get Kim's feedback on the national ratings. Watched a good WA horse go round in at Albion Park on Saturday night and win again. Rocket City.
Yeah,
that was a good win.
Yep.
Very
it's
good
2
win.
from 2 over there now.
Yeah, very good win. Looking forward to the Inters coming up. 5th of July, the first round of the heats. Don Hugo went really well last week. You would think he would be the main danger to leap to fame.
You'd think so.
Yeah,
you'd think so. But the final's over 3,000 metres.
Wow!
So it's got to play into Leap to Fame's hands, that side of things. But it's looking forward, and it's heating up now. The 3 and 4 year olds are contesting the Rising Sun this week, and looking forward to some of the big races, and it's going to be a great carnival.
Now I see one of the races on Saturday night at Albion Park that they named after. I'm assuming they named it after the great man.
Hayden?
Yep.
Yeah, the Hayden. Yeah. No, Matthew Hayden.
Oh, right. Yeah. Not Hayden King. Okay.
No, it's a. I think it's the Queensland representative in their slot for the Eureka, the Hayden.
So there's 12 horses.
Yep. It's dominated by 2 stables.
11 out of the 12 are owned Chantel Turpin or Grant Dixon trained. So very interesting. I thought somebody must have had drop and drag on the Excel spreadsheet there and just gone down the page, but 11 out of 12. And, of course, they had their APG sales graduate races coming up.
Yes, there's a final this Saturday night.
Yeah, one for the fillies, one for the boys.
$100,000 there.
Which would be our equivalent to the
Sales Classic. Yeah, that is correct.
And, of course, Steno shapes up against I Keep Smiling.
Yeah, drawn the back line against I Keep Smiling, who's drawn the front. So you'd think Luke will just be handlebars down to try and dominate the race. But, gee, she's been going good, Steno, over there without winning. Her runs have been been outstanding. So, she goes around in the mares races, and she's run into a good one. But she'll be if she gets the right run at Albion Park.
Yep,
she's going to be a big hope in some of those races.
Certainly is. Now the Training Cup is on Sunday, which you would have known.
Yes. Where are we? Central Wheatbelt.
You're not going?
No, unfortunately. It's been a big week. The Knights play Saturday, so I don't know. I got to.
You're not locked in to go and see the Knights, are you?
Well, almost.
Oh, Michael, I thought I actually thought you were a dedicated supporter.
Yeah, I know.
No, obviously.
Yeah, no, I'll be there.
Whereabouts? They're not playing.
HBF.
Oh, okay. Yep.
Yep.
And who are they playing?
The Dolphins, who are absolutely flying. I think they've won 7 of the last 8. They've got the best young player in the game in Katoa, the halfback. He's a complete gun. And,
of course, the Knights is going...
Well, we were robbed last week. Completely robbed. We were in front and, they awarded a try that... If it was the Knights, they wouldn't have given it to us.
Of course not. Yeah.
I'm talking like a disgruntled punter.
Yes, you certainly are. It's almost put you off going to watch them on Saturday.
We'll be there. We'll be there. I think a few of the Knights were over here. Danny Baderas, we ran into Danny Baderas. He was hanging out with Simon Miller, which is a worry.
Oh, gee whiz. Have you checked in to make sure he's okay?
Clint Newton's. And obviously Joey was here on Tuesday at a function with Sully hosted.
Sully,
the great man. Sully did a great job. Joey took over, mind you, the great man, Andrew Johns.
What's happening in the NRL space with the Perth Bears and State of Origin and
Mel Meninga.
And we've got the Knights playing this week, so lots of hype around it.
Yeah, Mel Meninga announced the inaugural coach.
Probably wouldn't get too many bigger names.
No, the seventh immortal. Yeah, here's Big Mel.
Yeah, no, very good. Looking forward to seeing that team enter. When are they entering, Michael?
2027.
Right, okay.
They can start contracting players from November this year.
Right, okay.
Yeah, but no doubt, they can talk. They just can't offer money and stuff like that. But they'd have a few lined up. There's a few, and a lot of the managers, I think, player managers knew there was a team coming in, so a lot of them are coming off contract around then. So, whether they leave or not, but that's obviously a bargaining tool.
Yep, absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, I guess we should get back to harness racing.
Indeed.
That's what we're here for. There is some very, very good, some great racing on Friday night, but like I said, very open.
Yeah.
Some of the fields, very, very open.
Yep. No, some, and we'll go through a few of them. Bomber's just sent through his tips, so we'll have Bomber the other side of the break with deep dive into 4 of the races and see if we can find you a winner. But I think it's time to take a break, Morts.
Good idea, Michael.
And we spoke about the 2-year-olds, and really exciting. As I think we both love the 2-year-olds, Morts. It's exciting, these young horses coming through, and
it's the best.
And Robbie Williams, Cownie find a 2-year-old, El Maestro. He won at Pinjarra. He's backed up and was really good. $1.55, but if you took the $1.55, you're on pretty good terms with yourself throughout the race.
Yeah.
You end up winning by just over 2 lengths. Let's listen to El Maestro win the final event at Gloucester Park last week.
For Williams into the straight, a length and a half. Nod from above on the inside of Cease to React, and then comes Majestic Lombo. But El Maestro, he's in cruise control down the straight. This is too impressive. Back-to-back wins, El Maestro. 2.5, nearly 3 lengths. Cease to React has run second over Majestic Lombo. Butter Me Up and Nod from above.
There's always a lot more in store for you at Retrovision. Like Retrovision's lowest price guarantee. If you find a lower price on a same-stocked item, we'll beat it. There's our 60-day price promise, where we'll refund you 120% of the difference if you find a lower advertised price on any purchase. Plus, RAC members save an extra 5% every day of the year. After 60 years, a lot has changed, but there's still a lot more in store at Retrovision.
You are listening to Talking Trots with Morts and Michael Radley.
Of heaven, Azadi by the seaside, corners for home over Lasaka. Nowhere to go for Little Darling, held up in a pocket, but Artie by the seaside just going to cruise down to the line into the Clear Lake, Little Darling, but Artie by the seaside over Little Darling.
Yeah, she was too good again, Artie by the seaside. Had the pole the last couple of weeks. Doesn't get the pole this week. Currently 380 on Tab Touch. The favourite is the Waterloo first up at 320. Penny Black at 350. Little Darling 550. They're the runners under double figures in a very good Kerry Clark. Like this.
Certainly is.
There haven't been this many good mares, I don't think, in a crop for a while.
So what price was Artie by the Seaside?
380.
380, wow.
Yeah.
It's a big price about a horse of...
Let's beat the boys the last two.
Yeah.
Anyway.
But drawn barrier 6.
Yep.
Waterloo and 2. Penny Black, who we know is as tough as nails.
Yeah.
Little Darling. Gee whiz.
Yeah, it's a good race.
Great race.
Good race. Good betting race. All right. This segment's brought to you by Loans 123, Car Loans, Debt Consolidations, all your personal finance. Who do you see?
The great man, the nude nut, Steve Sell.
Loans123.com.au or 1-800.
100 or 100.
I gave you a chance this week. Eh?
Yeah,
Still
last
doing
week.
the things the banks can't.
Exactly, Michael. Yeah, last week you chipped in with the 100.
I was so excited.
Yeah.
I jumped in too early.
Well, thanks to our next guest, we didn't need him on Friday night, Michael. Had a good 4-unit win.
No, bounce back. Bomber, good week.
Yeah, nice to get a couple of winners and finish on the right side, Rads. A couple of relatively easy watches in the end.
Yeah, indeed. A couple of racing's been pretty competitive of recent.
Yeah, it sure has. The quality's probably not there just at the moment, but you only got to look at some of the markets. You're looking at sort of $3.50, $4 a field, which is good for punting.
Yep, it sure is. So let's see if we can find some value. Tomorrow night at Gloucester Park, there is 10 races. The first at 5:30. The feature is race number 5, which is the Kerry Clark at Group 3 level for the fillies and mares worth $50,000. But we're going to kick off our preview in race number 2. It's the Christmas in July book now, Morts. And when we were talking to Kim Prentice, and he said, Nathan... he watched the trial and then sold the share to Nathan. We're giving away, just by booking into the Beau Rivage, eating the Beau Rivage, a chance to win 2.5% in the filly Perfect Mickey, trained by Justin Prentice. She's already, we know she's actually got ability. She made the Sales Classic final, ran 4th, has spelled, has grown a bit, has come back. Tell you what, it's a good prize, Morts.
Great prize, and not just that, Michael. There's not too many better places to eat than up there at the Beau Rivage. You got the beautiful view of the track. You got a great smorgasbord, and you got a chance to win.
Yeah, and if it does rain, you're inside.
Oh, absolutely. No, it's a good opportunity. As you said, the horse has already raced. Yeah. We know it's got ability.
Yeah, and Justin really likes it, so that's
she's
good.
Nice, very nice. Out of no less than perfect.
Yep.
So. Yep, get up there with a chance to win at the Beau Rivage.
Indeed. All right, let's get into the preview, though. We've got Bomber on the line. We've got Louis Dior, open $5.50 in the poll, $2.90 he is. Velocipede, $15.
It was a good run first up.
Yeah, it was
Louis
good.
Dior, back on the fence and made some good ground late.
Yep. Velocipede, $15. Ideal Tomato at $51. Gully Gum, $7. Blaze On. It holds favouritism, $2.30 up to $2.65. Crowd Control for Kim Prentice at $17. Little Happy Fella at $1.26. Bricky's Dream at $9. Bluto, $15. And then the back line, we got Cam's Boulder at $15. Mr. Macedon, $41. Fastland Dad, $26. This is a really good race, Bomber. Plenty of good form. Last start winners there, and a really competitive race to kick off our preview with Blaze On the favourite at $2.65.
Yeah, it would certainly be competitive. And I stuck with Blaze On. I was really impressed with him last week. He won with a leg in the air. And he was allowed to just sort of find his feet early and then amble to the top, really. And it's probably going to look a little bit different this week. There's plenty of speed underneath. So he might just have to sit out there 3 wide early and then let them go for it and then make his way into it after the lead time or even during that first quarter. But he was pretty arrogant, I thought, first up, and he'll only be better for the run. It's hard to go past him. He's a pretty nice type, and I think he can make it 2 on him.
Certainly was a nice win last start, Bomber, and I'm glad it's you tipping into this because this is there are a lot of chances. As you said, there's some good speed underneath, but it's a really nice race. But Blaze On was very impressive. last week. And, of course, the very powerful Michael Young stable is in terrific form right at the moment. Gary Hall Jr. in the bike. Race 2, number 5. What's the staking plan, Bomber?
Yeah, 2 units. Hopefully he gets to the death without working too much, and Junior can dictate from there.
All right, the next race we're going to look at is the feature race. It's the Kerry Clark. As I said, Group 3, $50,000 for the fillies and mares, and what a lineup. We've discussed it tonight. Soho Seraphine, first up for Kim Prentice, $34 into $26, so a bit of support there. Waterloo, first up, $2.90 out to $3.20, but still holds the call. Penny Black, $3.20 to $3.50. Little Darling, $7.50 to $5.50. Out to Allure at $1.51. Artie by the Seaside, $5 to $3.80. Pocket the Change, $1.51. Starlight Dream, $41. Heavenly Gypsy, drawn 9 at $10. And Lion Queen, only runner off the back line at $12 in from 15. Bomber, this is a really good race of mares. Group 3. Great lineup. This is as good a lineup of mares as you'll see here at Gloucester Park. And which way are you going?
Yeah, it is. They're a nice crop, all right. But there's one here that just looks to map absolutely perfectly, I think. And I can't see how she possibly misses a place. And that's Little Darling. I think she just drops straight on the back of Penny Black, and which will either hold the breeze or, even if Artie by the Seaside decides to come and force the issue too much, then she may well work to the front, in which case Little Darling ends up 1-1 on Artie by the Seaside. But either way, I think she just sits 1-1, 1 by 2 at absolute worst. And, she's been in career best form. She's either beat these mares or finished hard up behind them over her last few. And it just looks to map perfectly for her. I think she's a winning chance, but she's a definite place chance.
And what a wonderful field. Great race. Some really good exposed form. Once again, Bomber, glad it's you picking this one and not me. The Barry Howlett stable, of course. Very good form. Had a good winner at Gloucester Park last Friday night. Little Darling has been just that, a Little Darling. Race number 5, horse number 4 for Barry Howlett and Chris Lewis. What's your staking plan, Bomber?
Yeah, not often you can say $1.75 is value, Mords, but I reckon it is here about this mare place. I just cannot see how she misses, and she's going to be a 5-unit bet.
So that's a 5-unit place bet.
And
place bet.
She is, $1.75 currently the place on Tab Touch.
Oozing confidence there is our man, Bomber.
And why not? It's the way she's been going. You're right, career best form. And some of those starts, she's been giving them big starts and rounding them up. So, it's a great race, whatever happens. And there should be pressure throughout as well with Penny Black. You know that she's not going to die wondering.
Yeah, certainly is.
Indeed. All right, it's time to take a break. Bomber tipped Blaze On. And he was a good winner last week. Listen to this for the ownership group. You've got Boots Property. Mick Boots, one of the biggest owners in Australia, owns the likes of Swayze and those horses, and got plenty of those horses over here. The Big Cat, Matt Leppard, who's part of the Gloucester Park Gurus. Ollie Cownie, who's part of the Gloucester Park Gurus. And the great William Pike.
Willie Pike
is part of Blaze On's ownership, and they would have all been cheering. I'm tipping they all launched into the $1.55. And here is the combination of Michael Young, Gary Hall Jr. and Blaze On.
8-7 the third quarter. It's Blaze On a half a length to Cam's Boulder into second. No run Velocipede behind the leader. 3 wide Tantabiddy into the clear now. Louis Dior 4 wide around the turn ahead of Ideal Tomato, and out wider is Spudmeister. Beat the bank over on the inside, but it's Blaze away. A length and a half in front of Velocipede. Louis Dior's running on well late. Little Master saves ground, but Blazed On switched on first up, and Blaze On has gone on to beat Velocipede.
New Mazda.
Yep, I love it. We got it from Bayswater Mazda.
I keep hearing great things about them.
They're fantastic to deal with. Great people, great coffee too.
At Bayswater Mazda, you'll always be well looked after. Visit the team today and find the best drive-away deals on new Mazdas and pre-owned vehicles. Driving is better with Bayswater Mazda.
So's the coffee.
Go and see Bayswater Mazda at the corner of Guildford and Garrett Road, Bayswater. DL 25174.
You are listening to Talking Trots with Morts and Michael Radley.
comes up and joins Soho Moonraker into the straight. Rolling Fire gets the head in front of Soho Moonraker, who's trying to lift. Then Quentin into the clear. What are the odds? Wider out, but Rolling Fire's got Soho Moonraker, and Rolling Fire about a half a length to Soho Moonraker.
A good win by Rolling Fire. Morts, he put the writing on the wall the week before with a really good second. And then,
certainly did.
And then, once he got that cover for the final lap, he was always going to be hard to hold out and got the cash.
Yeah, it was a good win. Yeah, good win. As you said, got a nice card into the race, and just had to work a bit down the straight to get past the horse in front, but did so and pricked his ears in the line and was pretty happy with himself, almost as happy as the owners, Michael. No, it was good. Nice win.
Did you go in the winner's room?
Did actually. Went in there with an earlier winner who I think was in there on his own. So he came back, and because he was sole owner, and came back and joined us for a drink. So
outstanding.
Yeah, it was
really
good. Always a good place to go, just if you're lucky enough to get in there, Michael. That's the thing.
It is, indeed. Now, this segment is brought to you by Retrovision, your local WA electrical appliance specialist, where RAC members receive an additional 5% off everything every day.
Certainly do, and it's the half-yearly clearance. Oof. We're virtually giving things away, Michael. 25% off, up to 25% off LG TVs at the moment, and of course, if you're an RAC member, that means 30% because you get the extra 5.
Yeah.
It's not only do you get the 25, you get the plus 5.
Actually, a third off.
Yep, and if you're looking for a new notebook, a new Lenovo notebook, tax time, 25% plus your 5. Plenty happening at Retrovision this weekend, Michael.
Yeah,
get down there, and I know you'll be down there, but
been in there stocking up.
Yes, yeah,
manning the fort,
doing a bit of night fill.
Indeed, all the electrical stuff you love.
Correct.
At Retrovision, retrovision.com.au, or just go into the superstore.
Yep.
Spend a day in there, just walking around.
Almost could.
Indeed. All right, let's get back into it. And we're going to look at race number 6 here. And this, again, is a really good competitive race.
I think they all are on Friday night.
This is the free entry at Gloucester Park, and we are free entry.
Yeah, that's good. That is good.
Come through. And Relatively Armour, drawn the pole, 290 to 260. Minor Catastrophe, 31. Excite Me at 750. Stormy Skies, $21 into 12, so a bit of a correction there. Soundwave, 41. Cordero, $11. Blame It on the Night, $4.80. Have You Met Ted at $34. Travel Band, $41. Trouble Supreme at $7.50. Sweet Vivian, $14. And No Noni at $9.50, who got the cash for us last time. Bomber, which way are we going in race number 6?
Yeah, with the pole marker, it's Relatively Armour. She really does get a chance here from the pole as a result of the race conditions. And while she hasn't been able to win for a long time, the last couple have been pretty good, and last time she did win was at this track and trip, so we know she's going to handle that. And, so long as she can pinch a quarter sort of in the first, second, or even a nice easy third quarter, then I think she's going to be the one to run down.
You would think so, Bomber. Some early speed there could make it interesting, but Madison Brown aboard for trainer Colin Brown in race number 6, horse number 1, Relatively Armour. What are we doing here after a big 5-unit bet the previous race? What's our staking plan in this one, Bomber?
Yeah, 2-unit bet. Mort, I do think she'll hold up, and she's definitely going to look the winner at some stage.
All right, that is race number 6. And the final race we're going to look at is race number 8. Tab Touch supports Gloucester Park over the short course 1730 metres. Let's have a look at the Tab Touch market. Candy Apple, $3.90. Into favourite, $2.25, so a big move for Candy Apple, drawn the pole. Blockjaw, who got the cash last week, $1.90 out to $2.45. Valhalla missed $23. Get your bets on, $14 to $9. Il Pariant Sir at $19. Pocket Full of Opals at $19. Mr. Copa at $1.26. My Sweet Addiction $19. Me Flash $14. And Recover Lover at $16. Well, the punters, it's settled it down between 1 and 2. Candy Apple, $2.25. Blockjaw, $2.45. Which way are you going, Bomber?
Yeah, well, Blockjaw did the right thing by us last week, but I think she might just have a slightly better one on a hammer this week to hunt her down in the form of Candy Apple, which doesn't have a lot of gate speed, so I don't expect her to hold up. But given Blockjaw is a real free roller and can't really sprint she has to sort of just roll along from the half mile, and this should allow Candy Apple every chance off her back, I think. Doesn't really appear to be a great breeze horse in the race, and I think Candy Apple will get a chance, and been racing really well without a lot of luck.
Sounds like a fair bit of confidence there to our gun tipster in Bomber. So Bomber, race number 8, Candy Apple for Michael Munro and Toby Lynn drawn the one over the 1,730 metres. What's the staking plan there?
Yeah, another 2-unit bet, Morts. I really do think only bad luck will beat her if she sees daylight. I think she'll win.
There we go.
A lot of confidence there. As much confidence about the red and blacks tonight, Bomber?
I think I've used it all up.
Okay.
Morts has zero confidence tonight. I think the line, I haven't looked, but I'm guessing the line's somewhere around the 60-point mark.
Yeah, it should be.
Yeah.
It should be.
It's, I mean, we're just going to see some of those kids come through, and it'll be interesting to see the young ruckman tonight and how he goes about it. But, unfortunately, that's all we're watching at the moment is the young fellas.
Oh.
Yeah, no, it should be a good spectacle.
On Tab Touch, it's 32.5.
Oh, geez, it load up. There's a 5-unit bet if ever you've seen it.
It's almost a 10-unit bet, Bomber.
If Freo can't win by more than 33 points, I'd be amazed.
Yeah.
You're not worried about the weather? We could get a bit of rain? No?
I thought it was 10 goals in the wet, Rats.
There we go.
Very confident.
There we go. All right. There we go. All right. If you've got your Tab Touch open, take the 32.5 minus 32.5 Fremantle at the $1.90.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
That's a good price.
Yeah. All right. Okay. All right, Bomber. Thanks for your time. Good luck on the weekend, and hopefully we found everyone a winner for tomorrow night.
Thanks, guys. Have a great night.
Good on you. Scott Bomber Hill there in good form. He's bounced back.
Yeah, he always does. +4 last week, and fair bit of confidence on Friday night, considering some of those races are pretty tough. That Kerry Clark, what a ripper.
Yeah.
Absolute ripper. Can't wait to watch that.
Now, he jumped off Blockjog this week, but he was certainly with her last week, and great front-running drive by Kyle Harper, as you mentioned at the top of the show.
Geez, one of the best in front, Kyle.
And that was win 16 for her from 150th start, and over 200,000 in prize money, 213.
Was a very smart 2-year-old.
Yeah.
Very
nice
smart
2-year-old,
yeah. And then, had quite a few starts. Was very, very smart 2-year-old, 2 and 3.
And she's obviously in the market this week. But let's go back to last week. And as I said, good front-running drive from Kyle Harper and gets the cash with Blockjaw.
Blockjaw corners for home. Mania gets to the outside, tries to give chase to the favourite Blockjaw, still leading a length and a half. Holding second is Mania. Good go for third, but Blockjaw 2 tonight for Kyle Harper, a length and a half.
Hi, I'm Steve Sell from Loans 123. We are car finance specialists. We can help you find the loan you're looking for, your new car, and help find a home for your old one. If you want a new or used car but feel uncomfortable visiting car yards on your own, we can help and often save you money. For a stress-free way of buying and financing your next car, who do you see? Steve Sell at loans123.com.au or call 1800 100 100.
Talking Trots with Morts and Michael Radley on Tab Radio, Racing and Sport.
Janitor gets out. Can he wind up quickly, though? It's Rip into the home straight, leading Miracle Moose. The Janitor starting to balance up, and he's coming on strongly. Rip tackled by the Janitor. Clean up, Albion Park. Aisle 1, the Janitor races away and wins it easily. The Janitor Miracle Moose.
Yeah, the Janitor, and hasn't he come a long way? He's a 4-year-old by Always Be Mickey. New Zealand bred. He's now favourite for the Rising Sun. And good run. He was 3 pegs. Didn't worry Pete McMullen. Particularly even when Rip found the front, he's a really nice horse. Knew what he had under him, and just
another Always Be Mickey, Michael.
Yeah, can't he throw one?
Certainly can. Certainly can.
Yeah,
no, very good. Good win.
And
very
there's some
win.
good racing, as we mentioned early in the show at Albion Park Saturday night, and we've got Ollie Cownie coming up very shortly to discuss that. Plus, give us a few tips that
he is an Albion Park specialist.
He is.
Ollie.
That's why he's part of the Gloucester Park Gurus. Indeed. Now, this segment is brought to you by Bayswater Mazda. Driving is better in a Bayswater Mazda, corner of Guildford and Garrett Roads, and you know that better than anyone else, Morts.
Certainly do. Beautiful car to drive. End of financial year clearance on right now. Pre-owned cars, or you can get one of the latest range. And Michael, some of their range, the CX-60s and some lovely vehicles. Right. And Bayswater Mazda, that's the best place to be buying your Mazda. Great service, great people, and great coffee.
Great coffee. Great reliable cars as well.
And reliable coffee.
Yeah, very, very good. All right, let's bring in Ollie Cownie. Ollie, welcome to the program.
Hey, Rads. Hey, Morts. Good to be on again.
Yeah, it must be exciting time for you. Albion Park really heating up with some great racing this winter carnival.
Oh, it certainly is. There's some really, really nice horses going around, obviously. Don't have to look any further than Leap to Fame, who could be, could potentially be the greatest of all time in time to come, without a doubt. Obviously, there's still a bit of debate around that, but gee, he's an exciting horse to watch go around whenever he does, and he's going around too this weekend, so that's pretty exciting, as it always is.
Yeah, he goes around in the Lucky Creed. He's up against Whisper a Secret, Penny Tigers in that race as well, and a few of the locals that go around in everything, Jim RT and Black Sedans, and Rip's up there as well, who ran third in that race against the Janitor, and also got the Hayden as well, the APG graduate races. So we'll preview Albion Park in a moment, but some big racing here on the weekend in WA and the country. Got Bunbury on Saturday night. We got 7 races, the first at 6:11 p.m, and then we head to Kellerberrin Central Wheatbelt on the Sunday. 6 races, the first at 12:39. We'll kick off on Saturday night at Bunbury. Ollie, what do you got for us?
Yeah, it looks a good little card there at Bunbury, as it always is. It's a really good track, and every horse gets their chance. We're going to kick things off in race 5. I thought this looked a really good race for Heart of Alia, who's having her third run back from a spell here, and was a first start winner a couple of starts ago at Gloucester Park there. Led and looked in a little bit of trouble, I thought, maybe turning for home. She kept kicking. She's a pretty tough horse, and I think in this race she's got okay gate speed without, being a brilliant beginner, but nothing on this front line really flies off the gate. So I think she can drive through, and if she leads in this race, it looks a really good opportunity for her to record another win, because she does go very well out in front. So expecting her to be really hard to beat leading in that race to kick things off for us early, and then I'm going to head to race 7. So we'll have to wait for the last race on the card, and I'm trying to find a little bit of value here, because I do think that Majestic Gaga, a horse that I have a little share in, I do think she is going to be really hard to beat again, and she'll probably be a pretty short price favourite there. Myra Dream might be the leader in the race, but I'm not sure that horse really goes that well over the 2100. So I'm looking to Line the Stars, who I think is going really well at the moment, and was a bit of an eye-catching effort last start. Hit the line really nicely after being driven quietly early behind Majestic Gaga. So can draw a line through that form, and it looks pretty good. And Line the Stars was able to beat Patch in that race. Patch had a little bit of a tougher run, but I certainly think it was a good enough effort that if that horse is able to secure a good run off the pegs here, it can be running into the placings again.
All right, that's Bunbury on Saturday night. We head to Central Wheatbelt Sunday. What do you got for us there?
Yeah, it's a really interesting little 7-race card or 6-race card. I thought there was a few fairly even races where it's a little bit tricky, but the first race I was keen to play into was the first race on the card conveniently, and I thought Two Bob Cracker was really well placed in this race. The front marker is off 20 metres, so essentially his 50-metre handicap is just a 30-metre handicap, and he's a fairly classy horse in his own right, and he took on a really strong race last start at Gloucester Park, and they walked and dashed home, and he was out the back from a wide gate. So I think the run had a lot more merit than the beaten margin and the placing in the end. And he was really good his run prior to that at Pinjarra, ran a 56 middle half, and he was just behind Bluto and G Smith, he's a real stand-start specialist, that horse. So he steps away well usually, and I think if he can do that again here, he can be close enough to potentially run over the top. I really do think on class he stands out in this race. So I'm happy to play that way in race 1, and then in race 5, I think Captain Courageous is going terrific at the moment and looks to get a really good opportunity in this race to potentially sit on the back of Lock Tay and take the last shot. They have a sprint lane there at Kellerberrin, so if that horse is able to get a look at them late, the way it's been racing at the moment, I think could be a little bit of a value each way hope in that race. I do think Beyond Bling is another one that can win, but probably likely to go around shorter odds given how good that horse has been its last few starts.
All right, that's Kellerberrin Sunday, but Saturday night is Albion Park, and as we said, no doubt you're excited about the good horses lining up, and there's a number of very good horses going around, very good races. What do you got for us at Albion Park?
There certainly is. I might go with a little place multi here, and then we'll go one straight out after that. So the first leg of the place multi I'm keen to have is in race 2 behind Leap to Fame. I think Beach Ball will get a really good run in this race. He's a pretty classy Kiwi. He's always sort of been in that free-for-all company in New Zealand, and he's always gone quite well, and he's just a different horse when he's able to find the pegs, as a lot of horses are in this type of grade. And he follows Rip, and I think Rip will be the first one to hand over to Leap to Fame, and just getting that great run 3 back on the pegs. I think if he gets any look at them late, he'll be running second or third there. Maybe just needs to hold off Whisper a Secret, who's been flying at the moment, and I'm not really sure anything else can figure off the pegs in this race, even though there are some really classy horses. But when you got Leap to Fame out in front, it's pretty hard to make ground up down the outside. And then the second leg of our place multi, I was keen to be with in race 4, Zealous Spur, who is just in career best form. I think probably 6 months ago he was advertised for about $6,000, and in a month he's going to be going around in an Inter-Dominion series, and he's not going to be without some rough sort of hope. So really he's just he's gone to another level recently. He's an old horse and he's got great gate speed, so drawing gate 1 in this race looks really suitable, and he was not far off the short price favourite Oscar Bonavina, so that looks really good form, and I think can either run second or third depending on if Gus does everything right or not. I think if Gus does everything right, he'll probably run first or second, and Oscar Bonavina will run first or second, but Zealous Spur clearly looks the standout for third there in that 4th race. And then the one I'm keen to be with straight out is in race 5. I thought Mayaka got a really good opportunity in this race. It's certainly not the strongest race you'll ever see for $100,000, but something's got to win, and I think Mayaka has been really good recently since Nathan Dawson took the drive a few starts ago, was able to lead and win at Redcliffe, and then last start did a bit of work early and was finishing in behind what the current favourite is in Sweet Nelly Joy.
That's race 5. Number 1 price do you think we'll get to about Mayaka?
Probably about $4 or $5 for Mayaka. I think it was there's a market up for it at Tab Touch. I think it was about $5 last time I checked.
Okay, all right. That's Mayaka tomorrow night at Albion Park, and Luke McCarthy going up there en masse this week. He starts his campaign up there, and obviously Grant Dixon has been absolutely flying up there, and the Purdens have arrived as well. So Oscar Bonavina winning last week, and Ribeira, is it Ribeira?
Yeah, Ribeira was really impressive there, beating Fader Waits, who's really been probably the standout 3-year-old in Queensland at least, and maybe even in the country. He's won a lot of feature races, so really impressive Ribera being able to beat him, and he's going to be an interesting runner from a preferential draw in that Rising Sun.
Yeah, it's all heating up, Albion Park.
Certainly is some great racing coming up, and of course the ultimate, the Inter-Dominion, kicks off with the first round of heats on the 5th of July.
Yep, a couple of weeks away.
Can't
really
wait.
Good. All right, Ollie, thanks for your time. Good luck over the weekend, and hopefully we found a winner or two.
Thanks very much, guys.
Good on you, Ollie Cownie. Did great last week as well
Did a
on
great
the
job.
Retrovision preview.
Very good job.
The boys tomorrow, Glenn Moore texted me today. Shannon Servalco is the guest.
Oh, very good.
So tune in.
He's always good, Shannon. Very
obviously got a few
upfront.
really good drives as well.
Yeah, as always.
Yeah,
as always.
Looking forward to that. All right, what's
Must be the surname, I think. Servalco. Unbelievable.
Yep, driving
everywhere you
plenty
turn.
winners.
Everywhere you turn.
All right, enjoy the footy.
Getting flogged, you mean? No, look. Rain is a good leveler in the AFL, but you would think that Fremantle on their home deck should be just a bit too good.
You'd think so.
You would think so.
Well, Bomber thinks so. The 32.5 is unders.
10-unit bet.
Yeah.
Should be good. Wander across to have a bit of a look. You enjoy your weekend, Michael.
All right, sure will. Kicking it off tomorrow night here.
Yes, and then I'm not going to...
bit of NRL on the Saturday. All right.
Absolutely. Enjoy.
All right. Thanks to Kim Prentice. Thanks to Bomber and Ollie. Thanks to Amelia for pressing all the buttons. Thanks for listening. Hopefully you've tuned in for the whole way. Good luck if you have. Until next week, it's bye for now.
Talking Trots with Morts and Michael Radley on Tab Radio, Racing and Sport.
Chances are you're about to lose. For free and confidential support, visit gamblinghelpline.org.au.